Welcome to Business Math. Today is January 15th. For you online students, you may be taking this class in the fall of 2014 or whenever. Just be reminded for you online students, every time I ask a question, you'll type the question and the answer. There'll be a place for you at Blackboard to hand that in, and it'll be called a participation assignment. So if you go to Blackboard, let me take you to Blackboard, and online students will look just slightly different, but don't worry about it. If you have a question, you can call me on my cell phone. So let's go to Blackboard. And live students, if you have a question, I want you to interrupt at any time, because I found out from my online students, they really like that when the live students ask questions, because a lot of times, if something is unclear, the online student really appreciates it if you ask right away, because that way they will get their answer as well. Okay, so here we go. Now online it won't say 8 o'clock spring 2014. In fact, if all of us look really tired, it's because we're not morning people here. Okay, just a quick review of things at Blackboard. I'm not going to read all this stuff to you, but you have here's your home page, and here's all your announcements right in here. You can read all those. And be sure, by the way, online students will have to complete this too. There is a different day, and let me see why this is not cooperating. There is a different day. It won't be January 22nd, 2014 to complete your Division of Business Code of Ethics acknowledgement. But you will need to complete that, okay? Then be sure you use your NWSU email account. Because of FERPA, I can't, privacy things, I can't, if you email me from a Yahoo account, I can't tell you anything. The discussion board is for non-personal questions. Go ahead and ask your questions, both live and online students. And you can either ask them at the discussion board, or, of course, you can call me on my cell phone. I don't mind. And you can literally call me 24/7. Doesn't mean I'll answer 24/7, but you can leave a message and I will get back to you. This is for the video speed adjustment. This is for live and online students. Depending on if you're using Windows Media Player 9, 10, or 11, it's sometimes you will like to increase the speed if it's something very easy. Something that you're familiar with as you're going over some of the videos that I do have. And I listen to 3 investing shows every day. I didn't introduce myself. I'm Dr. Gustafson. All my students call me Dr. G for your online students. And my career path has been mathematics. So I've been teaching math since 1972. I mean, that's older than some of your parents. But I've been teaching math since 1972. And then I went math. I kept teaching math. And then computer science, kept teaching math. And then e-commerce with all the computer things in e-commerce. And there's a lot of math, ones and zeros and all that good stuff, and base 2, base 16, all that good stuff. And then from there, about 7 years ago, I started finance. So I went back to school each time, and so gives you a little bit about my career path. But every day I listen to 3 investing shows. Okay? And so what's that got to do with this? Well, it's the video speed. So I listen to all 3 of my investing shows at double speed. Okay? And what it does, it saves me a lot of time. And in fact, I listen to audio books as well. I'm up to about, well, I heard Dave Ramsey give out, he said, did you know that millionaires read 1 nonfiction book per month on average? That's interesting. says, I don't have any time to read. And then I thought, well, I'm going to try audiobooks. Now, I'm not much of an auditory learner. I usually need to see things rather than just hear it. But I thought, well, I'll give it a try. And so I'm about 120 audiobooks later. And so now this took about 6 years. But I've continually adjusted the speed on my player for my audiobooks. And now I'm up to triple speed. So just that little 15-minute drive across town this morning, I got 45 minutes of reading done. So Zig Ziglar was the person that I was listening to this morning. He's kind of a deal. And he talks about enrolling in automobile university. A lot of us spend a lot of time in cars. The average time, he said, for most people in America is about 10 hours a week. So anyway, that's the audio speed adjustment will help. Well, let's go. Let's see. Let's talk about some other good stuff. Hopefully you've had a chance already to, the assignments weren't there before. Now they are. Now, and I'll show you how to hand those in.
They were there last night.
Yeah, they were there last night. I put them up yesterday. So, but I'll show you how to hand those in, and I'll give you a couple tips of when you take a picture of your homework, okay? A couple little tips. I also part of my career was photography, because when I interviewed for my first job way back in 1972, it was in a high school, and it was well, are you a coach? I said, no. And I said, but I did have my driver ed. I didn't do my safety education thing. I said, well, I can teach driver ed for you. He said, well, that'll be helpful in the summer. So I taught driver education in the summer. And they said, but we need somebody to be in charge of the annual. I said, well, I know nothing about photography, nothing about journalism. I've never been on a yearbook committee or anything. He says, well, do you think you can do better than this? So the superintendent of schools, he opened the yearbook from the previous year, and you couldn't even tell who the people were. The pictures were so bad. He says, do you think you can do better than that? I think I can. So I started studying photography with that same intensity that I usually attack something, and so I used to teach digital photography as well. So I'll show you how to do a little bit better at taking pictures of your homework. You can scan them if you don't have a camera. You can scan them, but I think most of you have a cell phone camera, and that's good enough. All right, so here I have the first 3 assignments all laid out, and of course online students will have a different due date than those, so just watch that. In case something messed up, too, I did set these for multiple hand-ins. And like I said on Monday, I didn't have the recording set up for the online students, but so online students, you're hearing this for the first time. The assignments that I give you, you're going to have the answers for them. And the reason is because when I was in the military, basic training, I learned how to fire an M16. By the way, with the same intensity of learning, I learned how to fire an M16 rifle, and I never fired a high-power rifle before in my life. And in fact, our drill sergeant told us, he said, those of you that have never fired a high-power rifle before in your life will do the best. Those of you that have been hunting all your life will do the worst. By the way, Nubia, why do you think that's the case?
Because you can see if you missed it.
Okay, that's a good answer. And the other thing was that I paid attention to everything that drill sergeant told me about how to fire that weapon, how to hold my finger, my posture, how to breathe, how to put my head on the gun, etc. Okay? Well, I finished second out of 200 guys. Pretty proud of that. But anyway, I was scary good. That's the way to explain how good I was with the M16. And that's without a scope. But the point is, they had a really good system for us to learn how to fire that weapon. And when we pull the trigger, instantly we know if we were right or not, because these were electronic targets, and bam, you'd hit them and they'd just go down. You missed, they wouldn't go down. That's the reason why I assign problems for which you have answers. So you work the problem, and then what you do is you check your answer, see if you got it right, and if you did get it right, great, you got that instant feedback. So that's the reason that I assign problems where you'll have all the answers. And also, see, it makes it easy for me to grade your homework, doesn't it? Because, I mean, you have all the right answers, so I shouldn't even, so basically, see, what I'm doing is, in the homework, it's a nice little thing for accountability. That's what it is. It's an accountability thing. It's just so you keep up. And I thought about, I talked to my wife a lot. Being married 42 and a half years, I get her advice on many, many, many things. So I asked her, I said, well, I was thinking about having the students keep all their homework in a notebook and then just hand it in at the end of the semester. Now, she's a retired school teacher. She knows students pretty well. She goes, well, some of them might not keep up. You know, the temptation. And that would be true for all of us, including me. I mean, that not having some accountability, and where at the end of the semester, you know, you just, oh my goodness, I better quick copy down all those answers and hand them in. So she said, you know, they need to hand it in on a regular basis. So I said, well, dear, you're right about that. So, anyway, so that's the homework. Now, you will be having some chapter quizzes as well. I've been working with the publisher on this. This is a brand new book, 2014, and he's going to get back to me. He's really good, our sales rep. And so you're going to have some quizzes over each chapter, and then you'll have a midterm exam, and then you'll have the final exam. Now, the quizzes over the chapters, those we're not even going to have during class. We'll have those. You'll just do those at Blackboard. I'll put the quiz up at Blackboard, and I'll let you know in class ahead of time, and also put an announcement. And then you'll just take your quiz at Blackboard. And on these quizzes, I'll probably give you about 3 tries. I think that's what I'm going to do. By the way, if I forget, see, this is being recorded, so you can remind me, okay? But I'm going to give you about 3 tries on the quiz. So the quizzes aren't going to be, you know, huge number of questions, but I'll give you 3 tries. So if you're not satisfied with your quiz score the first time you take the quiz, then take it again, okay? Take it again. And what I'll probably do in that situation too, I will have a randomized. I'll use the randomize feature. So on the second try for the quiz, you probably won't get the same questions that you did on the first try. I mean, it'll cover the same material, but you probably won't get the same questions. And then on a third try, you're not going to get the same questions that you did on, you know, on quizzes 1 and 2. But at least that way, if there's something that you did wrong, again, that way we can use the quizzes as a learning tool. So the quizzes are going to be, I would even call that, the quiz is primarily a learning tool. Because that way you're going to do the quiz, and these little homework exercises will help you for the quiz. And then so you're going to do this, and then these practice quizzes. That's why the routine, if you notice, and I think I'll probably stick with this routine unless it gets too much work, but yeah, the practice quiz and the extra practice quiz. The thing about mathematics, it's a discipline that requires practice. You know, you can watch somebody water ski, and you can watch water skiing movies, and you can read about water skiing, and you can just listen to audio about water skiing, and you can interview water skiers, and you can go to a water skiing competition tournament and watch that. But unless you put the skis on, you don't know how to water ski, right? Well, that's the way mathematics is. Oh, and by the way, isn't it? It's not coincidental. But all of the things that I've chosen in life, I chose in mathematics. You have to do mathematics to learn it. Then I chose computer science. As an undergrad, I didn't take any computer courses. I had to do all that in graduate school. And so then I chose computer science, which is a doing You can't learn how to program unless you write programs. You can't learn how to write web pages unless you write web pages. And now you can't learn how to trade stock options unless you trade stock options. And so it was about, well, this will be, wow, we're coming up on 7 years. 7 years ago this April was our first stock options trade with real money. Now, we practiced, see, with, quote, virtual money and paper money first for about 4 or 5 months. Well, anyway, that's what I want to be when I grow up, a stock options trader. Someday I might learn how to do it. In fact, my wonderful wife, in 10 minutes, she has 10 trades this morning she's come along for the ride. Isn't that fun? She takes care of all the trading in the morning. I put on the trades the night before, and then at 8 o'clock when the stock market opens, boom, she's ready to go. And she loves it. She just absolutely loves it. That's laugh. Well, let's see. We got to keep moving. See, we're not supposed to have fun in this class, right? The point of that little thing there is that you have to, whatever skill it is you want to get good at, you're going to have to do that skill. You can't just get good at something without, I play trumpet. I still play trumpet after all these years. I play in the Enid Community Band. Guess what? You want to learn how to play the trumpet, you have to play the trumpet, right? You can't just watch YouTube videos on how to play the trumpet. Okay, let's see. That was assignments. Course documents. I did put the time value of money calculator there because we are going to do some time value of money assignments. The syllabus is right there. Right-click, save target as to look over the syllabus. I'm not going to read it to you. If you have any questions, you can ask about it. And the discussion board, this is where you can place your questions. And then also, if you help answer other people's questions, then I'll give you extra credit for that, okay? And let's see, the tools, this is how you check your grades. You'll have a section over here that says My Grades, and check that. Then you have some other resources, and of course, the video lectures, this is where I'll be placing. Now, right now, there are no video lectures here because this is the first video lecture. Online students, if you look over here, you'll see all the video lectures are already listed because I've already got them posted, but live students, we don't have them done yet. That's what we're doing right now. All righty, well, let's go right back to the homework. Let's show you how to hand in an assignment first. Let's go all the way back to that first time. I got to watch the clock carefully. One of the things that's just totally unfair, well, there's many things that are unfair. One of them is I'm having twice as much fun as you are right now, I promise you. That's totally unfair, right? Because I get paid to be here, and I'm the one having fun. See, that's something wrong about that, isn't it? The other thing that's unfair is the clock for me is just racing. I am just battling time, and the clock for you all is just crawling. I feel sorry. Well, on your first assignment, this was way over there. It was started on page 9, bottom of the page. You had to write those in verbal form. So the biggest mistake people make when they read numbers is they stick in an extra and. It's not a big deal, but it's just, it's like speaking good English. Fortunately, my dad taught me more English than I ever learned in school. We had a game at home, and it was correct each other's English. So to this day, I play the game with my kids and my grandkids. Every time they catch me making an English mistake, I have to pay them a quarter. It's a fun game. And so my grandkids have already gotten into this game. They're waiting for Papa to make an English mistake. So if I say, well, you did good on that, boom, Papa, you owe me a quarter. It's, you did well on that. See? You did a good job, etc. All right. Well, a lot of people make the mistake, and they put the word and. So they'll say 3,422. They'll stick an and in there. You only put the and where the decimal point is. Okay? That's just a little tip. Let's see, most of this stuff you didn't have any work to show at all, except when you got to the story problem. Everybody likes word problems or story problems, right? That was the number 3. That was the one where it says you create this blueprint. Now, similar to the blueprint, here's how I learned how to problem solve. There is a great book. It's old as the hills. It's by George Polya, and it is a book called How to Solve It. And in fact, I will be giving out some extra credit here and there. So, How to Solve It by George Polya. And this is it's a book that's old as the hills, by George Polya. Got to watch that time. How to Solve It by George Polya. And now don't get all bogged down in the math part. There's some pretty good math in this book. There's no calculus in it or anything. But I don't want you to get bogged down. I want you to get through the problem solving part of the book. Oh, by the way, when I do give out an extra credit book report like this one, and this is true for your live students or online students, I give you like 20 points for this, and you don't have to type up a book report. Just read the book. It should be available in the library. If they can't, they'll be able to get it through interlibrary loan. It's old as the hills. And read the book. When you finish reading it, just call me on my cell phone. We'll chat about it. Boom, I'll put 20 points down for extra credit, and that's all you have to do. Okay? So just find the book, read it. It's not going to be your favorite book, I promise you that. And it's not real thick. It's not a real thing. But the part about the book that's absolutely amazing is, and I took this from the book, but I modified it to get a mnemonic device. I call it You Die, because that's what you feel like sometimes when you're going to solve a problem. You feel like you're going to die. So this first thing is understand the problem. Understand the problem, okay? I'm going to highlight all this stuff here and make that maybe not white. Understand the problem, okay? That's the first thing. And if you'll notice in the blueprint, let's back it down to about there, will probably be okay. I think you can probably still read that, hopefully. Understand the problem. When you go to the blueprint, now the blueprint, be sure you bring your book every day. And if you don't have your book, let's see, neither one of you have your book in Ponca, right?
No.
You guys are waiting on a book, right?
Yes.
So, and I'll have some mercy. Now, what I should do is, I'll try to get creative today. I can't make any promises. My kids would always say, "Dad, is this a promise or a will see?" And because they knew if I said promise, they could count on it. So I will do my best to see if I can. I think maybe I have connections for some digital. I could do some digital PDF things until you get your book, okay? And I will do my best. And same way, online students, you can call me or email me if you need that. Let me know. But I'll see if I can do my best to get some electronic PDF, so at least I'll be able to put that at Blackboard. So if you don't have your book yet for you online students or for your live students, let's see. How about Alva? Do you guys have your book yet?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, so you're set. And I see you have your book, Courtney. Okay, so we're set, and you have your book. Because a lot of times I'm going to go to page, whatever, and then a lot of times the way it works in ITV, etc., even though I put it up on the document cam, it's not going to be as clear. All right, I'll try. All right, I'll do my best. That's another good little thing. You know what? You always do your best, and you never have to make any excuses, right? Let's see if I remember how to do this. I usually don't use the document camp very often. Right in here, we can't see that probably with the hoots. I'll zoom way in. This is in fact, this was the answers to the blueprint for that. This was for your first assignment. This comes back from page 9, kind of going over what it means, the blueprint. Now, I told you George Polya's method. Step 1 is to understand the problem. Now, what do you think? So, online students, remember, you have to type the question and the answer. So, what do you think? Which part of this, of the blueprint, is understand the problem? Rachel, take a guess. Here's the blueprint. So, which one do you think? Which one of these columns, the facts, solving for, steps to take, or key points, which one of those do you think has to do with understanding the problem?
Steps to take.
Yeah, and actually, all of them would be good answers, wouldn't it? Because the entire blueprint is to help you understand the problem, right? So it's pretty much, you could say any one of these, because this is going to help you understand the problem. So step 1, the blueprint, by the way, is a really good way to help you understand the problem. So to get the facts right, so they wrote the facts down. This is the problem. So this comes from the word problem up in here. Okay, this is about the 100th anniversary of the Tootsie Roll industry problem, and what it is. So just you write down the facts, summarize the facts. Then the next question is, part of understanding the problem is to figure out, well, what are you going to solve for? You're trying to solve for sales of profit. Okay? So these two primarily are going to be the understand the problem part, the you. Okay? Now the next one, I probably should have given you the entire George Polya plan here. The next part of the plan, the D stands for to devise a plan. To devise a plan. Oh, you know what was so rewarding? I ran into one of my former students yesterday that has a very, very good job with Weimer Brownlee Financial Services, okay? She took one of my math courses umpteen years ago, and it happened to be a course where I was going through George Polya's understand the problem, devise a plan, implement the plan, and then finally evaluate the solution in the plan. And I spent so much time in that course, just like I'm going to in this course, to drill that into you. You die. Understand the problem, devise a plan, implement the plan, and evaluate the solution in the plan. Over and over again. Understand the problem, devise a plan, implement the plan, evaluate the solution and the plan. Over and over and over again, because repetition is really what learning is all about. In fact, that's why my audiobooks, some of my audiobooks I've listened to 10 times already. Yeah. So don't feel discouraged, by the way, when you read a book or listen to a book one time and you go, boy, I can't remember much. I can't either. In fact, my wife, who's absolutely brilliant, I told her this. I said, the only difference between you and me is the fact that I think I'm not as brilliant as I think I am, and you're more brilliant than you think you are. Because what she does is, see, she gives up easily. I don't give up. It's a positive trait and a negative trait. Sometimes I just need to give up. In fact, in college, I had girls tell me that, Jerry, just give it up. But I finally found one that didn't tell me that, so I married her. But, so I don't give up. She'll look at something for 1 minute and go, I can't find it. Like, I give her all kinds of stuff to do because she just does so much work for me. But a lot of times she'll go, I can't do it. Hey, you've tried 1 minute. This is the difference between you and me. I'll try for 10 minutes. Even if it's something really simple. I'll just keep doing until I find it, I am absolutely determined. That's why I'll either die first, or I will go insane, or I will become a successful stock options trader. All right? I'm persistent. It may take me 10 years. By the way, there's a great book called Outliers. It's definitely not going to be one of your favorite books, but it talks about to become great at anything, it takes 10,000 hours. To become great at anything, it's going to take 10,000 hours. You want to be great on the trumpet? 10,000 hours. You want to be a great stock options trader? 10,000 hours. You want to become a great accountant? 10,000 hours. Some of you are going, oh, goodness. Well, yeah, don't get discouraged. Keep pounding at it, because a lot of people will give up before they hit their 10,000 hours. That's why you have to find your passion. I spend so much time talking about that in personal finance. You have to find your passion, because you're never going to make your 10,000 hours. You're going to give up before you make your 10,000 hours. If you're not passionate about trading stock options, guess what? You're going to give up before you're successful, because you won't make your 10,000 hours. Well, anyway, part of problem solving is just persistence. It's just absolute persistence, that you're not going to give up. You're going to take another look at it. You're going to put it away. You're going to come back to it later. See, I want to go over the difference between a problem and an exercise. 2 plus 3 equals 5, that's not a problem. Well, if it is, by the way, you probably should drop the course right now, right? But 2 plus 3 equals 5, that's an exercise. That's something that you shouldn't have to think a whole lot about. 2 plus 3 equals 5. In fact, hopefully you don't have to think a lot about solve for x, 2x plus 3 equals 7. Hopefully you don't have to. Hopefully you know what to do on that. 2x plus, stop and over here. Let's see, 2x plus 3. This is good. Oh, we're going to review a little algebra. All right, let's see. What's the first thing I do, Shay?
Subtract 3 and bring it to the other.
There we go. Subtract 3 from both sides. So we subtract 3 from both sides, and we get 2x is equal to 4. And then, let's see, Robert, what's the next thing I'm supposed to do?
Divide both sides by 2.
Very good. Divide both sides by 2, and so you get your answer, x equals 2. That, hopefully, is an exercise. That's hopefully not a problem. But a problem is something where it has an element of newness, an element of novelty. It has an element of, for example, the first time, I did this primarily to prove that a PhD could actually do something practical. So my wife's car, she needed the shocks replaced. Okay? All right. I've never replaced shocks before on a car. I think I'm going to try this. That was a problem. So the first time you replace shocks on a car, that's a problem. The second time, it's an exercise. You say, okay, I've done this before. See? Now, if it's on a different car, it has a little different nuance to it, well, then that could be a problem. You get the difference between a problem and an exercise. A lot of time we do exercises, you can tell, you can look at me, I need to do more exercises, right? But an exercise is something where you know what to do, you keep doing it. Like I do exercises on my trumpet. I just keep, I do chromatic scales. I do various things to, warm up exercises and so forth. And then when somebody puts a piece of music right in front of you, brand spanking new, now you've got a little bit of a problem. I've never played this piece of music before. So I have to sight read it. I have to use my skills. I have to know what the key signature is, know what the time and so forth. And I have, look at the notes and so forth. And so that's more of a problem. So George Polya here is problem solving. Well, let's get back to George Polya, because I got to hurry. Clock is moving quickly. Well, the devise a plan back over on your blueprint. Let's see if I can get back to the blueprint. I'm so supposed to go like that, then like this. Back to the blueprint. Okay, on the blueprint, you can see that this right over here, the steps to take is really, that's the devise the plan part. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We have to devise some sort of a plan. Say, hey, this is what we're going to do. The steps to take. All right? Then we are going to implement the plan. That's what is next. We're going to implement the plan. That's over here. Implement the plan. So when we implement the plan, we're just going to execute the steps to take. We're going to execute the steps to take. So this is, we're just going to execute these steps when we implement the plan. Okay? And then the key points are just like things to remember as we implement the plan. So the key points also has to do with implementing the plan. And then finally, this is something extremely important that many people don't do in real life. They don't check to see if you had the right answer. In other words, go ahead and evaluate the solution, but also evaluate the plan. So in other words, do you think you got it right? By the way, my wife and I, we use this every single day in trading stock options. We understand the problem. I want to make money. And I devise some sort of a plan, okay? Right now, my wonderful wife is implementing the plan, all right? And I try to do some evaluation of the solution before actually I kind of do some what-if scenarios before this plan is even implemented to kind of go, okay, what happens if this happens, and so forth. And then sometimes things don't go well, all right? Sometimes things don't go well. I've lost $160,000 in 1 month before. That wasn't a very good month. That was August of 2011. We evaluated the solution and the plan. We had to change the plan, didn't we? So when you lose that much, wow, something's messed up with the plan. See, that's why you don't evaluate just the solution, but you evaluate the plan. Well, now, how do you hand in your homework? How do you hand this good stuff in? Let's go over that part right now. Now, let's see. Come back over to here. And let's see if we can hand in the homework. To hand in the homework, what you do is you click right here on the title of the homework. You click right there on the title. For some reason, this isn't writing it. Let's see. That's all right. I won't worry about it. You click right there, okay? What I just highlighted in blue. And now the next thing you do is, I'm going to show you how to do this from, I'm going to show you how to do this. I am in Joe Student, but I've already handed this in. So I got to do a different assignment. Let's get out of here. Okay. Because I already wanted to make sure this thing worked. So I'm going to go ahead and pretend I'm handing in this, okay? Because I want you to see what it looks like. All right. So I'm going to hand in this one right in here. This is what it looks like, okay? You're going to attach the file. You're going to attach a file. Now, when you attach the file, I'm going to come back over to here. Let's see. And these are the 3 images, and I'm going to show you all 3 images. I just took my cell phone. I took a picture of a page out of the book. Now, if you notice, there's 3 different pictures. Here's 365. This is one picture. You see how dark that looks? It's pretty blasted dark, isn't it? That's because all of your digital cameras, now don't panic. If you don't have this setting on your digital camera, like if you have one of those worthless inferior things called an iPhone, I love to razz the Apple, I call them Apple cult members. Because Apple cult members think Apple makes the best of everything, but my camera on my cell phone just blows away an iPhone's camera, okay? And mine's not an iPhone. I just get it. I love to just jab I hope, do we have any Apple cult members? Because Apple cult members think Apple is the best and won't even listen to reason. Maybe you're not a cult. You're an Apple, you love Apple products. They do make very great products. They make great quality products. Yeah. But just a lot of times, they're made for people that aren't very technical. That Apple products are not made for your technology advanced people. Because every time I come to buy a new phone, I compare the latest iPhone with something else, and I've every single time picked the something else. Because it had so many features that the iPhone didn't have. Anyway, so I don't even know if your iPhone has this feature. But on my phone, or on my particular camera, I can adjust the exposure. So if you can do that on your phone, you see there's this automatic exposure thing that all cameras have, and it's called a grayscale. It's like a 17% grayscale. And what it does, it pretends that everything has the same exposure. Well, this is kind of the picture I showed you. This is why you learn a little digital photography today. This is why when you take a picture with your digital camera, I don't care what brand it is, and you're out snow skiing, all the snow looks gray. Have you noticed? When you're out have you ever taken a picture of snow skiing, and you take a picture with your digital camera, and it all looks, the snow all looks gray. Okay? That's because you have an auto exposure feature on your camera. So what you need to do is, you're going to need to change that under some settings and overexpose. You're going to have to overexpose. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I don't know how well you can read that. Let me zoom way in. Let me shut this slide off here. And let's zoom way in so you can see this. Let's do that again. Up here. Oops, gotta go with that. And image adjustments. And you can't see it where the hoots. Let me now go like that. And I gotta do it one more time. You'll have to find it to see if you have any image adjustments on your camera. And let's try that. It's having trouble focusing, and you're just probably going to have to believe me. On your camera, what it's going to do is you're going to overexpose it. And the technology is not letting me show you this. Okay. Oh, that's close. Running out of time. Okay, image adjustments and exposure. You can maybe barely see it. It's way over here it was way over here on the right-hand side, okay? Anyway, by overexposing the picture, now watch as I overexpose by, it's one f-stop, that's better. Oh, but that's, get back. I gotta do this, sorry. Back here, and there. Okay, here's the original. See how dark that is? Now here's by overexposing by one f-stop, it got better. And here's overexposing by two f-stops. That's better yet. It is quite a bit better than that. That's pretty dark. That's better yet. I overexposed by two f-stops. So when you're shooting pictures out in the snow, guess what? Overexposed by two f-stops. Okay? You'll have to study a little bit more about that to learn how to use your camera. Can you do that with an iPhone? Can you overexpose?
Well,
I'll have to help you maybe after class. Oh, you can't?
I couldn't find it or anything.
I don't even think, it may not have it.
Okay.
It may not have it because, again, iPhones are created for people that don't have a whole lot of technology skills. So that's the people that love the iPhone.
On the Blackboard, like last night, I turned in the homework and I tried to upload 2 images because I did 2 different pages.
Yeah.
And it didn't let me submit it with
Now,
2.
push come to shove, you'll have to zip those.
Okay.
You'll have to zip them. Let me take all 3 of these now and put them on the desktop. I'm going to take these so you can see them. And also, I'm going to take those, so I'm going to do a Control-C, a Windows D, and I'll stick them here on the desktop, right there. So now I've got all three of these images on the desktop, okay?
Okay.
And let's pretend you have a homework assignment where, that's a good question, by the way. So let's say you have a homework assignment where you have 2 or 3 images on that one assignment. So here's one easy way to do this. By the way, you can hold the control key down when you left click these, and it'll select all 3 of them. Now I can right click and send to a compressed or zip folder. So it'll zip all 3 of these into one. So now they're all zipped into one. And I can even change the name of it if I want. So I can change the name to LU. Don't put any more, only put 1 period. So don't put, just say L1, LU1-2 or whatever. Don't put dot. Okay, just leave that. So now I have all 3 of these zipped right into one. That's a good question. I appreciate you asking. All right, so let's go back over here. Now let's browse the computer and find that zip file with those 3 images in it. So we're going to browse it. It was on the desktop, and it was called LU, there it is, LU1-2 zip. Okay, so I attached that one. That was awesome. You asked that question. In fact, for people that ask awesome questions, I give extra credit points. So Nubia, you get 2 extra credit points for that awesome question. All right, now let's see. Let's move down here. So you come down to submit. Now be sure that you don't click on save as draft, otherwise I won't get it properly. Click on submit, okay? And when you click on submit, it may take it a little while. And if you want to know if you've submitted it correctly, go back here and check your grades. So click on tools, and then go back here and click on my grades, and then come down in here. And if you see exclamation point like this, see this one was already created. Oh, good. This is Joe Student. And see this exclamation point right there? That means you handed it in correctly. Okay? Now, we are out of time. Fortunately, these first few sections are pretty easy. Because Unit 1-2 is performing basic math on whole numbers. And it talks about rounding a lot. Rounding is really important. I am not anti-calculator at all. I'm very pro-calculator. But at the same time, I'm very pro-calculator. I'm super pro-estimation. All right? So estimation is going to be really, really important. So your author talks about estimating. So you round numbers and shows you some nifty little tricks on page 15. So read it carefully before you do your practice quiz. Go ahead. I know it's tempting. I know I've taken more math courses than all of you combined. Okay, so I know a lot of times you want to just go straight to the problems. You don't want to read the stuff. All right, but it's good to read the material. So please do that. It will help you. All right. You guys were awesome today. And if you had a fourth as much fun as I did, you had a good day. All right. Do you have any questions before I hang it up?
Did you get my email I sent you?
Remind me, because I get hundreds.
Well, I sent you an email. I had to switch into your personal finance class from business research.
Oh, okay.
And so I'll be in there today, this afternoon. Okay.
That'll be wonderful.